In this next video, I'm going to show you why you slice your irons and how to fix it fast. All right, let's get rid of that golf slice of yours with your irons. So for me, it all starts at the setup. Now, before I show you that, I'm going to quickly explain the number one reason why you are slicing the ball. And I've just got an alignment, a magnetic alignment aid on my club here just to show you. The reason you're slicing the golf ball is because your club face is open to the path. So what's happening is on your downswing, you're coming outside to the path with an open club face. So when you do that, with an open face coming outside to in, putting side spin on the golf ball, and the golf ball is going way out to the right for a right hander, starting left, going out to the right. So that is why you slice it. Your face is open to the path rather than coming on the inside with a squarer club face. So the first thing that you need to do to fix this is make sure you've got at least a neutral to strong grip. So I'll take that off. So when we're set up with your grip, most slicers, and I can almost guarantee you're doing this yourself, when you're holding the club with your left hand, you can barely see just one knuckle on this left hand. And when the right hand goes on, you can usually see at least two knuckles on your right hand. That is a very weak grip, and that will encourage very much an open face, which will cause your brain to want to come over the top of the ball and cut across it to try and hit a straight golf shot. So the first thing you need to do with your setup, with your grip, when you put your left hand on the club, make sure you've got at least a couple of knuckles showing on that left hand on your lead grip. Really important. And when your trail hand goes on, you'll probably only see maybe one knuckle on that trail hand like that. That's a lot more of a neutral, a lot stronger grip, and that will encourage you to have a more squarer face. As you come through, you'll be a lot squarer and less likely to slice that golf ball. All right, so this open club face I spoke about, this usually happens right from the takeaway as you start your backswing. So usually what happens, if you're someone that slices your irons, is right from the start, those hands roll in like that, and that face is pointing right up towards the sky. As soon as you do that, you're setting yourself up for a slice. And normally what happens is the club goes at the top like this, and then as a reaction to that open face, you'll come across the ball, outside in, put a big left to right spin on it, and you'll get your big slice from there. So what you need to do is the exact opposite. As you make your takeaway, this is the first step. There is another step or another couple of steps I want you to do. So really important you watch right through to the end. As you make your takeaway, right from the start, that club face is nice and square. And I'll put this on because I want to show you it's extremely important as you make your takeaway that you get that face pointing more down towards the golf ball. This is the bad way, right up towards the sky, rolling the wrists, but I want you to be like this. You can see the club head is on the outside of my hands, the face is more pointing outside of the golf ball or towards the golf ball to here. That is a great takeaway, and that will flow on better to the rest of your golf swing. Now the next piece in getting rid of that golf slice is as you continue to make your backswing, so we've made a good takeaway to here. Now typically what a lot of slicers do in their backswing, when they get the club right to the top, they're either right across the line like this, or maybe even way too underneath like that. Either one of those will quite likely result in a slice and a really weak position at the top. So usually this is probably the most common, with this lead wrist really cupped like this. So I want you to do the opposite to that, and that is to have what I call a very flat wrist at the top like this. A tiny bit of cupping like this is okay, but I don't want excessive, and a little bit of bowing is okay as well. But ideally a nice flat wrist at the top, that will get your wrist structure in a position where it's less likely that you're going to hit a golf slice unless you do something drastic in the downswing. So this is what it looks like as we make our takeaway to the top of our backswing. You can see there my lead wrist is relatively flat. If you can get to there, I don't care if you only make a shorter backswing like that, but if you can get that left wrist relatively flat, you are well on your way to getting rid of a golf slice, getting rid of your slice, coming through, hitting straighter golf shots. So think flat lead wrist at the top of your backswing. Now with this flat lead wrist at the top, I always get asked some questions. What about players like Freddie Couples, John Daly, and there's plenty of other ones around who don't have a flat lead wrist at the top, and they're obviously fantastic players, major winners. The thing is, there's always exceptions to the rule. Like these guys like Fred Couples, he cups it slightly that, he's able to then shallow the club back on the inside. Look, these guys are fantastic talents, and they've been doing their golf swings for so many years, and they've been grading them, and they've been able to practice for 7-8 hours a day, grooving their swings, which works for them. But for most of us, and for you watching, it will be far easier for you to get rid of your golf slice if that lead wrist is flat at the top. Far easier. I'm all about making the golf swing easy for you and not difficult. And to make it easier for you, a flat lead wrist will be far easier for you to get rid of your slice rather than that. Just something for you to think about. There's obviously exceptions to the rule, but it will be much easier for you to keep it flat. You're going to see the most improvement. All right, the next part on the downswing, this is critical to getting rid of your golf slice. So we've made our good takeaway with the face nice and square. We've gone to the top, we've got a nice flat lead wrist. As you start your downswing, what you need to make sure you do is when the club comes down, that club is splitting through that trail forearm. If you look at your swing on video, which I encourage you to do, check to see on your downswing, when you get to about here, that club is splitting through that trail forearm. It's quite often called getting it into the slot. But when you get it to there, you're getting the club shallow, and you're able to come from the inside of the golf ball and strike it a lot more solid and consistent, rather than what most slicers do. Instead of coming here, they're over like this. And from here, you come across the golf ball and you get that left to right spin on it. So a great feel to build that into your swing is to feel like your trail elbow traces along your ribs here. Because if you do that, we get up to here, feel that trail elbow tracing down your ribs. That will naturally shallow out that club, get it into the slot without even you having to consciously think about it. So if you get to here and you come to here, feel that elbow tracing your ribs rather than out there, you're going to be in a fantastic spot to strike that golf ball solid and get rid of your golf slice. All right, let me show you a simple way you can practice this so you can stop slicing for your irons. And by the way, this will work with your driver, your hybrids, your 3-wood, 5-wood, all other shots in the bag as well. It's not just for getting rid of slice with the irons, it will very much work with your driver as well. So we're going to combine all three of those things I spoke about to get rid of your slice and do this into a drill. So what we're going to do, when you get over a ball, we're just going to go to here, we're going to pause and stop. Got our great takeaway. Going to finish the backswing. Going to have a nice flat wrist at the top, and we're going to trace that trail elbow down your rib cage to here, and we're going to stop. That's what I want you to really get a feel in your body, because as I said earlier, most slicers, especially in that downswing, you'll be here. That elbow will come across, but now you're going to do the opposite to that. You're going to come to here, that elbow is going to go down and then through. So I'm just going to do the backswing slowly, pausing, and then follow into the downswing and just hit a nice easy shot. And this is what I want you to practice every day. You can do it without hitting balls if you have to, but it's great to build in a much better path and gets rid of that slice. So here we go. Takeaway, backswing, through. I want you to practice that one, as I said, at least do 10 reps a day. If you can hit shots, great. If you can't, just do air swings going to here, to here, to here, and through. And it's impossible to hit a golf slice if you've got a square club face and that takeaway. If you have a flat lead wrist at the top and you trace that trail elbow down to here, the only way you can hit a slice from here is if you sort of stand up or do some sort of manipulation with your hands and open the face. It's extremely difficult to hit a slice if you do all of those things. So if that all makes sense to you, I want you to drop me a comment down below. If you have any questions about that video, anything that didn't make sense, if you've been slicing for 20, 30 years, I promise you, if you implement those 3 steps I showed you, your golf slice will disappear. Now I've got an important video for you coming up I want you to watch, because this is talking about how to stop standing up in the golf downswing, which is common in a lot of slices. I know it's going to help you out, so make sure you watch it. It's coming up.